I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. And big shout out to my girl Nikki, known as Little Baby, and big shout out to my sister Carol. I'm doing this video on the reasons on why people go to church and why they don't go to church. You know, that's another good subject I love to talk about because we see this a lot all around the world. Some people only go to church when they feel like it. Then others they go to church only on certain Sundays when it's a certain pastor speaking. You got praise team and choir members that only go to church when when they singing or leading a song and won't come to support nobody else. You got some people won't go to church because it's men's Sunday and if the male chorus is singing. But isn't it amazing how they support you when you are at church, but when it comes to supporting each other, we got a downfall with it. I don't know why it's like this, but you know what? You can't let the negative stop you from getting your praise on. How many of us know so many people that don't go to church and they know the word better than the people at church and they live according to God. But when you go to church, you see all these people so negative for God. Some people go to church just to see who's there. Some people go to church and only come in there when it's time for the preacher to preach. Some only come in there when it's time for the choir to sing. I'm here to tell you, man, everybody that go to your church ain't for your church. Everybody join your choir praise team ain't for your church. So you can't let the negative things in church discourage you from going to church. And as a man of God, I always got to tell the truth. I tell the good and I tell the bad, the positive and the negative. A lot of times, God will use negative things to make it positive. A lot of people don't believe that. He'll take a negative situation just so you can go through things and make it positive. That's why I said in the other video, you let negative people be fuel to your fire. So many people go to church for the wrong reasons. The question is, what are you doing for God? Why do you go to church? Do you go to church the same, or when you leave your church, you feel a whole, like you're a whole different person? You are so high with the Spirit. You should be rejoicing and on fire when you get out of your bed in the morning. God wakes us up just to see another day. That's enough right there to just get joy in your soul. And when you go to church, you ought to be already crazy. You shouldn't have to pump people up. But like I say, people go to church for all the wrong reasons. Some people go to church just because they look at it as a fashion show. Oh, I got this new dress on. I got this new suit. Now I'm going to finally go to church. Just so they can be seen. People go to church for all the wrong reasons. So the question is, what are you doing when you are in church? And here's the thing about people in church. And I'm not here to just talk about church. It's going to always be negative things, even on your job, even in your family. People are always in comparison with each other. So this is what causes a lot of people to be discouraged and stay at home because they don't want to deal with the mess in church. People are envying each other. You want what somebody else got. Somebody else is the assistant pastor, or somebody else is the director, youth director, or somebody else is the praise team leader. So since it's not you, you don't want to go to church. We as people can't work with each other. So many people in church want power. So what are you doing while you in there? Are you trying to help the kingdom, or are you trying to turn out the kingdom? Some people go to church just to see who is in the church that Sunday, and they'll leave and go home. Some people go to church just to cause mess because that is their job. They do the devil's work just to cause mess. Some people come to church just to see you be destroyed. They want to see you fail. I'm here to tell you, you should never wish nothing bad on nobody. I don't care what somebody has done to you. You should never wish bad on nobody. You should never wish for somebody to get killed or wish for somebody to fall, because that is not how God wants us to be. And so many people right now wishing bad things on others. So this is some of the reasons why people don't go to church. They tired of the mess. Just because somebody don't go to church don't make them a bad person. I know too many people that sits at home on Sundays that they live for God more than the people that's in the church, because they keep it real and they study their word. And I can't blame them. I don't get mad at them, but I still encourage them to go to church, because yes, you can have church in your own front room, because like me, I don't wait on Sundays. Sunday ain't promised to me, but I try to encourage them to go to church anyway because it is nothing like being in the building, in the spirit of God with somebody you on one accord with. I like to have my little praise buddies, but I praise God by myself. But it's nothing like praising with somebody on one accord with you. And thank God for my girl, Sister Jackson. We can grab hands and praise God together. I can feel the spirit of her. Same spirit flowing through her, same spirit flowing through me. And you got people that don't even go to church, but they catch the spirit in their front room. Because some people don't go to church because they tired of people in the church. And it's sad, especially for ones that just came into church, that just got into Christ, and they come into church and see all the mess. I got to say this again. There is no such thing as a perfect church. Because big or small, every church got their problems. Now the thing about problems and mess, you can get mess in order. See, when you got a pastor that stands boldly and keep things in order, and you got a strong deacon board that handles a lot of this mess in these churches, your church can prosper. You're going to have your little problems, but it ain't going to be that noticeable. That's why in a lot of bigger churches, you don't see a whole lot of mess because it's so big. But in these smaller churches, you will see a whole lot of mess. But you can't let that discourage you from going to church. And I'm here to encourage somebody right now to go to church. You ain't got to come to my church. Go to somebody's church. And people that's in these churches, get your church in order. Quit allowing all this mess to run people off and then preaching sermons on people when they leave the church and get mad at them when you ain't got your church in order. See, you can get your church in order. We got to quit selling our souls out to the devil and selling our souls behind money. People letting churches go any kind of way because of money. I'm going to say it again. Ain't no such thing as a perfect church. And if it is, it ain't perfect when you get there. You'll catch that when you go home. I'm out. Be blessed.